Alright guys, welcome to some Let's Play Trauma Team. Alright, we last left off, we were just finished reconstructing the skulls, so we just went back here, and I think we have a little connection here.
The missing area of skull is the section from the mental tubercle to the angle. Chloe had swallowed pieces of human bone. Don't tell me.
Let's try this. We'll know at once whether it works or not. Zip. 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 Well, look at that.
So it was like I thought. After Chloe swallowed the bone fragments, the mysterious foci appeared in her body. There's something in this bone, some kind of pathogen.
Chloe
Dr. Kimishima, that man came by a moment ago.
That man? Who are you talking about?
The, friendly guy. He said something about having finished reconstructing the body.
Ah, you mean Gabe. All right, now we can observe the corpse as a whole.
I've gone ahead and put the skull with the rest of the skeleton. You can look at them whenever you like.
Good, you're on top of things. Can you tell me what you've observed from it?
Oh, right. There wasn't much to get from the body, though. The person was roughly 185 centimeters tall. A histologic examination of the bone detected 15 types of amino acids remaining. There was also a very high concentration of nitrogen. I've sent the results of the analysis to your computer. Please check it out when you need to.
Good, I'll look into it. It's possible to examine the body now, too.
Okay. Low nitrogen concentration. Let's go take a look. What does it have to say? Okay, black stuff. I guess not that important. How about here? Just purple stuff.
What is this damage to the joint? It's hard to think that an external force could cause this kind of effect.
Bone shattering.
Yes, the femur is completely broken. But why? In the human skeleton, the femur
The
is...
strongest bone in the human body. The tastiest bone.
Yes, it was the same in the case when that girl Veronica was thrown off the bridge. But the femur is the strongest among all the bones in the human body. What could have broken this so easily?
Really? What is this?
What's this? These scratches on the bone look like an area that's been shaved off. Looks like I need to look into what caused this damage.
It's just rot. Who's in the back too?
It's hard to think that an external...
What else am I missing here? These are just normal sutures, right? Yeah. Normal skeleton sutures. Corpuscles, or how they're called. Corpuscle plus bones. Missing. Scapula's fine.
But the femur is what could have broken.
Let's see. There's not really else. There's absolutely nothing. What am I missing?
It's hard to. It's hard.
What am I missing?
It's hard.
Yeah, nothing really catching my eye at all. Let's see. Oh wow, that was everything? Oh my god. I spent way too much time for no reason. Okay.
Little guy, can I bother you for a moment?
Yes, of course. How may I help you?
I want your opinion on this fractured femur.
Oh, okay. Just a second.
Well, anything?
It's literally, you literally had a second.
Well... Huh. What's this? This bone is hollow on the inside. I'm not surprised it broke if it was like this.
Did this fracture occur while the person was still alive?
I can't say about the fracture, but the loss in bone density must have occurred while the person lived.
It seems safe to assume that the fracture was caused by the decrease in bone density then.
So this thing like eats it from the inside out kind of thing? Maybe.
Little guy, I need this damage analyzed.
Right away. This...
What's the matter?
nothing. A bone abrasion caused this damage.
Bone abrasion? What do you mean?
Normally, wherever bones meet, there's a layer of fibrocartilage. In this case, the knee, that pad is known as the meniscus. That prevents damage like this from occurring in most people's bodies. The signs of wear I see here are consistent with the bones grinding together.
So these abrasions here were apparently caused by...
The meniscus was gone. There's no more cartilage kind of thing.
Indeed. This would mean that the meniscus was lost while the person was still alive and moving. But what would cause this to happen?
Marking. No. No. No.
Hey, little guy, can you analyze this marking here?
Yes, of course. Let's see.
How does it look? Can you learn anything from it?
Yes, first of all, the damage was done recently. There's no discoloration on the bone tissue in the area that had been damaged.
I see. Does this mean that whatever happened here occurred after the person died?
That's right. I don't think it could have happened any other way. From looking at the damaged area, it seems the bone had been shaved away using a tool, like a router.
A router? The only reason I would expect that to happen would be...
To obtain a sample from it. Yeah! Bone samples taken.
That's right. The staff at USAMRID was using this bone for research. There's a good chance they shaved a sample from the bone in order to study it.
Yes, you need small fragments for the high-detail analysis. That's likely what happened to this bone.
Wait a second.
What's wrong?
The researcher at USAMRID was infected while he was studying this bone. Using a router on the bone would cause particles of pulverized bone to be ejected in the air.
So he inhaled it.
If the researcher came down with the disease after performing that procedure, then...
Crap.
abnormal decrease in bone density with a lack of cartilage. What we can deduce from these two events is...
because of the abnormal decrease in bone density and loss of farm cartilage, can we deduce the person was suffering from weakened skeletal system? We hope. Yeah!
Yes. Both these conditions indicate a weakening of the skeletal system.
Nice.
Furthermore, I believe that both these processes happened while the person was still alive. If these conditions allow us to infer anything, it would be that this person was severely debilitated by the time of death.
Interesting.
Dr. Kimishima, the analysis of the syringe is complete.
The syringe. The one that was in the case?
Oh, yes. It's about that. Interferon, acyclovir, ribavirin, lamivudine.
Slow down a second. What are you talking about?
It's the medicines that were confirmed to be in the syringe and the ampules.
All that was in there?
Seriously, I don't understand. Every antiviral drug on record is in this list.
Antiviral drugs?
There was even an ampule of Ashvins in there, too.
Ashvins?
It's a medicine that hasn't been fully authorized by the FDA.
So this guy had access to some pretty top-secret drugs.
It's an excellent antiviral drug, but there were some problems with side effects.
Huh. Just what were these reported side effects?
Okay, let's see. Ashvins is an antiviral drug. It draws on the patient's calcium to suppress viral activities.
It draws on the patient's calcium. Calcium is used for bone density.
If used in excess, the subject will become calcium deficient. The body then draws calcium from the bones and it leads to all sorts of complications.
A drug that robs calcium from the bones.
Well, that isn't its purpose, of course, but that is what happens.
I see. Something bothers me about this, though. The deceased had a large amount of antiviral drugs in his possession, along with a dangerous, unapproved drug that caused calcium deficiency in the human body.
Well then, those things are clearly related.
Yes, it seems that these can be used together. The large amounts of antiviral drugs found in the corpse's personal effects, and an ampule of Ashvins, a dangerous antiviral reagent. The reason that Ashvins was never approved was because...
abnormal calcium consumption.
Indeed, Ashvins consumes large amounts of calcium from the human body. A 50-kilogram person's body contains roughly 1 kilogram of calcium.
So 1 every 50? Okay.
99% of that is in the bones and teeth. In other words, the side effect of the Ashvins drugs is...
increased bone density.
Yes. What first comes to mind would be an abnormal decrease in bone density. Considering the information that's been gathered so far, this person likely administered the Ashvins drug to...
themselves?
Yes, themselves. The first piece of evidence supporting that is...
fractured femur? I guess.
the complete fracturing of the femur, the strongest bone in the human body. Continuing on, the second point would be...
loss of meniscus. Dead!
Yes, the loss of the meniscus in the left knee. Thus, we can deduce that the person's weakened skeletal system was due to the side effects of the Ashvins drug. I have a bad feeling about this.
Let's see. Using this antiviral must have had severe side effects. Nope. Nope. Let's exit and see if anything happens. Nope. Missing something here.
I need this bone analyzed, little guy.
Okay.
Be careful with it. There's a danger of infection.
Oh, can you warn me a little sooner next time? Give me a moment, please. Let's see here.
Well, did you find anything?
No, checked it out, but there's nothing especially unusual about it.
Is that so? That's odd.
What's so odd about that?
This is the bone that Chloe swallowed. When she did, the same black focus that the patients in the quarantine zone had showed up inside her body. According to what Gabe said, the serviceman who had been investigating this bone
Had hemorrhagic fever.
So, in other words, the pathogen lurking in this bone is...
A deadly virus. A pure evil.
Right. This bone carries a virus that triggers the hemorrhagic fever.
Virus? This is just a skeleton. A virus requires living cells from its host in order to multiply. So, this virus not only survives the host's death, but can continue within a skeletonized corpse.
Can you really say that such a thing is impossible?
What?
That's not like you. Calm down, little guy. Everything we've seen up until now has taught us something. That there are diseases out there in the world that defy all our understanding and what we think of as common sense.
All right. Let's assume that it is a virus. That doesn't mean that all the mysteries have been solved. How does this virus live inside this skeleton? And why aren't we infected with the hemorrhagic fever after we've handled the bones?
I really can't say at this point. It's possible this person was infected with the virus. Or perhaps the skeleton had been contaminated after death. In any case, we'll need to continue investigating this in more detail.
Right.
However, I can explain why you and I haven't contracted the hemorrhagic fever.
It's not airborne.
What? How?
Well, according to what Gabe was told by the assistant secretary,
Spraying infections.
that's right. They concluded that an airborne infection was impossible. This was because the infection wasn't spreading within New Samarid. If that's the case, it's unlikely that the virus is dispersed through a respiratory vector.
Then how does it spread?
Well, in Chloe's case, the foci were located in areas where...
It's physical contact. Those are bone fragments.
Indeed, the black foci only existed in areas that the bone fragments were in contact with. Taking that into consideration, this virus's route of infection is...
Or this device infection is mucous membrane contact. What is a child transmission?
Yes. In other words, the virus only has a limited means of transmission.
I see. That explains the cat's case, at least. But what about the Usamrid researcher? I highly doubt that he'd be chewing on bones.
Good point. There must be an explanation for how that other serviceman was infected as well.
Bone samples taken.
That's right. Now we're starting to see how the serviceman at New Samarid was infected as well. The virus rests within that skeleton. The route of infection is...
Mucous membranes. Psychic power.
Yes. It's when it comes in contact with a mucous membrane. Reaching a mucous membrane within the mouth or body causes the virus to infect that person. But there's no way that a researcher would lick or swallow a bone. However, the Usamrid staff did collect a bone sample for their research. In order to obtain that sample, the researcher...
Shave the bone.
Right. He used a router to shave away a portion of the bone. This is likely what caused the researcher to be infected. The reason for this is...
Touch the bone with his mouth. Inhale the bone powder.
Yes. Shaving bone with a router causes particles of bone dust to fly out into the air. It's likely that the researcher inhaled some of that powder while he was working. The powder then carried the infection and made contact with the mucous membranes. That is my hypothesis to explain the infection of the Usamrid researcher.
Interesting. Oh, really? It says I should combine this. I should combine this. guess that means...
Yes, it seems that these can be combined. These bones passed on the viral hemorrhagic fever via contact with mucous membranes. And whoever this was, they had been taking large doses of antiviral drugs along with a dangerous unapproved one. It's likely that this person was...
infected with the virus. Excellent reasoning.
Yes. This individual had been infected with some kind of virus. That virus itself was...
If that's the case, then the cause of death was...
I should stop making conjectures. I need some hard evidence to back these theories up. Hemorrhagic fever causes hemorrhaging from all over the body, along with other various conditions. If we could find traces of that disease...
Hemorrhaging from all over.
Is something wrong?
Oh, well, we just received the results from the analysis. It says that the blood stain on the person's clothing contained traces of saliva.
Oh, it came out of his mouth?
Saliva? If that's the case, then that bloodstain was...
vomited.
Yes, it came through the mouth, likely by being vomited. That would explain why there were no signs of damage to the person's clothing.
Alright. So I'm actually going to end off there. Save. So thank you for watching, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed watching this episode so far. I'm going to finish off this in the next episode, because it looks like we're getting really close to the end. So thanks for watching, guys. See you guys in the next episode of Let's Play Trauma Team. I'll see you guys